Where two or more are gathered in his name, he is there. For all who come, who run to him in faith, he is there. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, power in his name. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, power in his name. No fear, no lie can stand against us now. He is here. Whoa, the word has come to silence every doubt. He is here. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, power in his name. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, power in his name. Whoa. One name can save. One name breaks every chain. One name always. One name, Jesus. One name remains. One name we will proclaim. One name always. One name. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, power in his name. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, power in his name. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, power in his name. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power, power in his name. Yeah. Whoa. There's power in his name. Whoa. There's power in his name.
It's an amazing community to live in, guys. I want to thank all of you. And just grateful for that. And there's still a long road in front of us, but it's great to have them home. It's kind of weird to start dating your wife after 20 days later, but you know, we're getting used to it again. But I just want to thank everybody for the support and I want to thank the school and the Cowboys Live deal because that was really neat. And we ended up getting to St. Paul right when they were watching that day. Yeah, and somebody was a real mess when we walked in then. But it really brightened up a shy little boy that doesn't like to see anything. But in his own room, he really likes to watch stuff. So, all right, thank you.
I got 18 minutes. Okay, do you want to stay? All right. Well, first I had to write a few notes to myself so I would remember what to say because there were so many things that I wanted to share because everybody had such a vital role. It might have been a Facebook message, it might have been a text, it might have been a card that came in the mail. And it seems like a really simple gesture to put a card in the mail, but you have no idea how much it means to us. And I know I read them to Bromley and sometimes you just see tired or, and so anyway, they meant a lot to this mom. And so the fact that you did that is amazing and it taught me that I need to do better about that. Anyway, so I brought me some props so I can remember what I wanted to share. First of all, I have one question. As a child, have any of you ever played with fire? Raise your hand. Yep. I think a lot of us played with fire as a child. Some of us just didn't get caught. Okay, does anybody know what an accident is? The definition of an accident is an unfortunate injury that happens on the street in front of me. She's like, what do you need? I said, I don't know. And she come and she gave me the biggest hug. And I guess she thought I needed a hug. And that was it. And I made it just fine. So Bromley and I, we get on the plane at 7:15. And we landed in St. Paul at 8:21. Absolutely amazing that you can go over 400 and some miles in an hour and 15 minutes. But I hope that our next plane ride is a little bit more fun, right, Bromley? And you were comfortable, right? You were okay. Yeah. So then we get to St. Paul, they drop us at the airport, we take another ambulance from there to the hospital, and I didn't know how big St. Paul was, I didn't know where St. Paul was. I didn't know that it was right beside Minneapolis, and I didn't know that's why they called it the Twin Cities, and so I really got educated in the process. And I said, as we're flying in, I'm seeing all these lights, I went, wow, Bromley, I don't think we know how big this town is, because it was lights lasted forever and ever. Whoa, you're showing pictures, Sadie? Oh, good job. Okay, so that was his hand. Yeah, I don't have a solid thought in my mind. You have to forgive me. That was his hand at the ER. So you notice the black part? That's just that was skin that was burnt. Go ahead, flip another one, Sadie. So, quite gross, but that looks okay. All right, go to the next one. All right, we're flying, getting ready to fly. See, I got ahead of myself. Still flying. So once we got to St. Paul, and I remember, I can't explain how big this hospital is, other than there's 4 entrances. There are 5 separate elevator shafts, so there's the south elevator, the north elevator, the west elevator, the east elevator, and there's a central elevator. The central elevator became very important for me because I knew I was in the right spot if I hit the central elevator. So we get to the central elevators, get to the burn center, they clean him up, but on the way we were walking there, and I think everything kind of started to hit me, and my knees started getting just a little bit weak, and just kind of felt a little bit like a zombie. Anyway, so we get there, they get him in the room, and they told me that night, they said this will be the last time that you'll be in here when we do any of this dressing changes. I said, oh, well, I think I really need to be in here. Well, we'll have to talk to the doctors. Anyway, so we get there that Sunday night. We're in the hospital by 9 o'clock. It must have been about 10 o'clock before they actually had him. So they wrapped him in the Silvadine and then wrapped ace bandages around him. Same thing with his hand, Silvadine. And so they did that night. They did it again that next morning after he did a hydro wash shower. It's really not much of anything other than trying to pour water on him. And then trying to get more of that wounded area cleaned up a little bit. So that was on Monday that they did another Silvadine treatment. And then, actually, so then on that Monday morning, I said, well, can I go in? Yep, you can go in. Oh, well, good. I mean, I really didn't even have to fight that much to get to go in. They let me. And I'm very thankful for that because I think 99% of the parents don't get to go in and they don't get to be as active in the treatment as I was. So then on Tuesday morning is when he went in for his first surgery. So he had 3 separate surgeries. So the first one, they went in and they cleaned up all the area, and then that's when they put the Integra on. So right before that surgery, Dr. Kapari, she's an amazing lady. She's beautiful, she is caring, and she's more than a doctor. When she first saw me that morning, she said, I don't know if Bromley's going to be able to keep his fingers. We think he's going to lose these 2 fingers. I said, no, he has to keep them. This is what he has, keep his fingers. And she said, I'll do my best. I will try my hardest to keep him, and I'll treat him as if he was my own son. And I never felt so low as I did that morning because I'm by myself, and poor Justin. And Justin had some pretty rough days too. Monday and Tuesday were really rough for him. And I remember, I couldn't think, when you just can't think. And then you're walking down all these long hallways, and the lady said, do you want me to take you back? Yes, please, take me back to my room. I went back to the room, and I just remember weeping so much that I fell asleep. Because I just didn't want him to lose his fingers, and he had no idea that he might lose them. And I fell asleep, and they came and got me, and Dr. Kapari said, I'll make sure that I talk to you before you see him. I will let you know what we did. And so they took me to the room, and I'm waiting for her, and she comes in, and I asked her if he was able to keep his fingers, and she said yes. She said there was more skin there than I originally thought. So you have to have some skin up and down on your fingers in order for that other skin to grow around. So if you lose all that circumferential skin around there, they said it doesn't work. Those fingers they just don't want to work if they can't get that skin on there. And so in the process, we talked more about Bromley, and she knew that he was in a power chair and everything, because then we talked about, well, where do we get the skin grafts from? Where should we use for a donor site on Bromley? And I said, boy, if you can use here, it would be so much better than here, because, quit crying. I'm sorry. I told myself I would try not to, but, and I said, Bromley doesn't have good feeling anyway. I always feel like he'll get too close to a fire and, not realize either how hot he is or how cold he is. And she said, my husband's in a wheelchair too, and I worry about him. He will roll up to a campfire and he won't realize how hot his legs are getting. And I went, she understands. How did we end up with a doctor who had a husband in a wheelchair, who was really going to treat our son as if he was hers? Anyway, so they had me go back, Sadie, to that. So this, after he come out of surgery for this one, they had his hand, it was in a boxer wrap like this, and then, of course, his legs are wrapped. The little red thing on his ear is just a pulse to make sure they could get his pulse all the time. That first night we were there, they were in our room every hour doing a pulse on his ankle, or an ultrasound on his ankle to make sure that the blood flow was still in there. Anyway, when he was coming out of this surgery, he was hurting and he was in a lot of pain, and they couldn't get the pain to settle. And all he kept saying is, Mom, I just want to go to my room. I just want to go to my room. I said, Probably we can't go to your room. I said, the pain has to quit first. They said, we can't go to our room because there's drugs they can't give us on the 5th floor that they can give us on the 3rd floor. And so they had ordered a special drug, and when you have to wait for something, for a doctor order script to get down to the pharmacy, to get back up to where you're at, it takes forever. Well, finally the medicine had come, and they gave it to him, and he went, and I went, oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be good. Anyway, go to the next one, Sadie. Okay, so here's when this is the part where I said I was going to jump around a lot, so I hope you can put this puzzle together by the time we're done. So, that was Monday on the one side, and you can't really tell, but the first day it really didn't look like his face had gotten a lot of damage. So this spot kept getting redder and redder, and then his lips blistered. like top and bottom. And at first you couldn't see that, things, and he had singed all his eyebrows off, and his eyelashes were shortened. But it was amazing, even in a week, how quickly the body heals itself. Anyway, go to the next one, Sadie. What do I have next? Okay, so this is the sulfamylin soaps, and we did this 3 times a day. And they would cut off the ace wraps once a day. These were painful and miserable because, and actually the Integra was painful in the sense that it didn't cover the skin, so it hurt every time you touched it. And so at this point he didn't have sores here, but you just had to carefully manage his legs. And the one thing that I did get frustrated with is changing nurses every 8 hours or 12 hours, because it was like, okay, now we gotta start all over again. Raise your arm. He can't raise his arm. And I don't want to tell the story every 12 hours. I just wanted a big note somewhere that said, don't ask. Anyway. So then we cut off the ace wraps, and I helped him on this process, so there's usually 3 of us doing this, and we kind of had our system and it would go pretty quickly. And his little hand is what hurt the most, because the hand actually had to get took down every day with the Integra, and so that gauze and all that stuff would get stuck to his fingers, and so as you would unwrap it, it just hurt so bad, and there was no way around it. It just had to happen. Go to the next one, Sadie. I don't know what's next. Oh, yep, we spent a lot of time playing in bed together, watching movies when everything was good, and if I scooted him all the way over, I could fit in bed with him. Bromley, I promise I won't kick you or anything, I promise. Anyway, we that worked out really well. I liked it. All right, go to the next one. Our first visitor was Grandma Nay. She came on that Wednesday. Actually, maybe that Tuesday night. I can't really remember. My days and nights kind of got mixed up a little bit. But this was Claire, and she was just doing a sulfa treatment. Go to the next one. So then packages started to arrive. I think Bromley was the most popular person on the burn ward because we get packages all the time. Okay, so the accident happened on January 1st, and it was January 6th was his 11th birthday. Anyway, so we had fun stuff that came. Okay, so when you're in the hospital, you have to have fun with some things. Right, Bromley? This is my favorite. Anyway, I love this one. There's another good one in here somewhere. This one came from Corey. And this other one I would dance with. So you have to be your own entertainment. Oh, I can't find it. Here it is. Found it. Ready? And he would roll his eyes at me on those days too. But we had fun with it. And then Aunt Cheyenne had to send one. You guys know Cheyenne. She's so quirky sometimes. Here's this beautiful girl in the front. And, Bigfoot, yeah, Bigfoot. Anyway. Oh, is it showing that one? Here you go.
Zoom up.
Anyway, I love the cards that we got. Let's see. Hold on. What's next on there, Sadie? Oh, there was Dr. Maxwell Bush. Isn't that interesting, his name? Anyway, Dr. Max was 29 and Bromley was 11. And anyway, Bromley was always cold, and he loved everything tucked up around him, like he was a little burrito. So then all of the nursing staff came in and sang happy birthday. Okay, so let me go to his birthday. So Justin was supposed to come. Am I over my 20 minutes? Good. Justin was supposed to come that day, and they told me, Sadie said they were in Chamberlain at 9 o'clock. Okay, so I'm calculating, thinking they'll be here at 3 or 4 o'clock, okay? Well, we just got a bunch of packages in the mail, and I'm looking at packages. Hannah sends me a text that says, Shelly, go to Cowboys Live. I'm like, oh, I forgot. I'm like, Cowboys Live working, I can't get it working. And then, this is really stupid of me. So I put my phone down. For some reason, I picked up a card and I started to go through the mail again. Oh my gosh, I forgot I was supposed to go to Cowboys Live. Anyway, so I go to Cowboys Live again. And I'm like, oh. I was just looking. Look at, these whole bleachers were filled up with the people that we love. And we couldn't hear them. oh, Bromley, I think they're singing to you. And Miss Becky was talking, and Cheyenne was talking, and you know Cheyenne, she was moving around and everything, and I text Hannah, I said, there's no noise. All right, anyway, she did whatever she needed to do, and by the time the microphone got handed to Mr. Weber, it was working and everything. And I can tell you, the sweetest thing to this mother was seeing the people that we care about, seeing the players that we watch, and then they gave the microphone to Callie, and Callie talked so quiet that I could hardly hear her. And then later on they said that, Bromley, all you need is pickle juice and sunshine, and it will cure you, because that's what Grandma says. And then the phone got handed to Nate, and he said, hey, Bromley. And then Nate and Kelly says, hey, Bromley, that's all I wanted to say. Like, that's Kelly. And Holden was so sweet. So you don't know the impact that you're ever going to have sometimes until it's later. And then you guys sing happy birthday all over again, and I'm crying. Okay, now hold on, let me see. Halfway in that, I think they walked in the door. So I'm trying to get Cowboys Life working, and I told them. So I mean, there's a sign up at the thing that says, all visitors must wash your hands, and they really didn't want anybody under 12 years old coming to the burn center. I said, oh, but Jacob's 5 and Seth is 9. They really need to come. Okay, well, they decided they would make that exception, and they're like, they'll be good. You hope they'll be good. Anyway, so I told Justin, you wait out at the entrance there, and you let me know when you're here, and I will come and get you. So I don't know what I was looking at, if I was looking at my phone or what I was looking at. Pretty soon, Seth is here. Like, if you want to know what a day January 6th was, it was, phew, there's not a word for it, because I'm watching Cowboys Live, and my family walks in that I haven't seen in 6 days, and it was absolutely amazing. Anyway, I had no thought that was complete running through my head at that point. Goodness, I don't know where to go. Anyway, Cowboys Live is amazing. So anybody who supports it is amazing. And I don't know if I thought it was so amazing until Bromley and I were watching ball games, and we felt like we were still part of Colome. And Bromley was actually the one who said, Mom, look at the top of the screen. And I was going to try to wipe something off the top of the screen that first time. She's like, no, Mom, look. And it had his name on there. Well, that made me cry too. All right, Sadie, what do we have? So this is that's what you had to wear to do the sulfa treatments. Okay. What's next, Sadie? The room seemed really crowded when my family was in there, and it was very congested. So I spent that evening cleaning it up, taking a picture of all the happy birthday stuff, and then the next day I think they told us we were moving. So I had to take everything all down again. Not a big deal. This must just be, so this little doodad they made for him on his 3rd surgery, and basically it's so he will keep his hand like this to stretch the skin, because if he leaves it like this, the skin will not, it'll get so tight that he won't be able to go like this. And so he needs to start working on all these motions, and that seems really easy for me. But this is really hard for him, and the hardest one is curving these little fingers here because of the sensitive fingertips. So he's supposed to wear this little doodad to help with this. And so she was just in there probably working with his fingers, making them go down, because they still have to keep functioning. Okay, next. Oh, there's my family, and they were getting ready to leave. That was a very strange day. This sounds really stupid, but I was almost happy they left. And I only say that because when you have a child who was as hurt as Bromley, that was all I could really focus on. That was what I needed to take care of. The rest of them were okay. And they're children. They move. They make noise. And sometimes you just need to be quiet and still, and that's what Bromley and I had gotten used to. So I was very happy that they came. But it was time for them to go, and they knew it was time to go too. I think Seth was ready, and Justin was ready to go. Justin was ready to go. Okay, let me back up. On that Monday, right after the accident, I talked to Wiley, and I said, well, how's Dad doing? He's not good, Mom. never seen Dad cry so much. And I don't know what to do to make it better. I said, I know, Wiley, just keep staying strong for him, okay? And it had been Christmas break. And so Wiley was in the feeding tractor all the time, and Justin would load him. And previously, and I think this might have been a Grandma Nell thing, previously she had talked Wiley into speaking a little bit at church. I don't remember even when, like a week or two before that. And he gave this nice little, his thoughts on being thankful no matter what. And he had some scripture that went with it. Well, he had taken his notes, and he had them in his feeder tractor. Well, when Justin walked in the tractor on that Tuesday morning, this is the same Tuesday morning of Bromley's surgery, which is the same morning that she said, I don't know if he's going to be able to keep his fingers. And he said, it was very difficult, and then he saw that paper. And he said, there was a peace that came over him. To be thankful. Be thankful that it could have been worse. We could have 4 children in the burn center. It could have been worse. To always, always be thankful. And after he fed that morning, he said he was good. Like, there was a peace that came over him, that he knew it was going to be okay. Okay? So, there is Uncle Kevin came along with, which was amazing, because then Justin stayed with me, and we were like honeymooners, sleeping in a twin rollaway bed. It was miserable. And instead of sleeping head to head with each other, we slept opposite each other. We found that there was more room on the bed if his head was on this end and my head was on this end. Anyway, so then Kevin would go with the kids to the hotel, and so Kevin was monumental in just making everything happen. So then this was the first day that Bromley ate by himself. This must have been about a week later. Yep, January 8th. All right, go to the next one. Well, that was Home Sweet Home. They brought me a quilt that I could sleep with, and then, oh, this is funny. So when they came, they brought a little box of sunshine. This was in it, right? Okay, so in this little box of sunshine was, okay, we have some really amazing kids, and I couldn't help but go through. This is only like a 5th of the cards we have. These are the yellow ones, are the little box of sunshine. I'm not going to tell you who wrote this stuff, because I don't want to embarrass them, but I think they're amazing. We're missing you here. You keep us in place. Right now, we're just scattered. Hope you get better. Get well soon. We all miss you. You are for sure the funniest person I know. You are real cool, and I like your personality. I'm glad we're BFF. I'll try to be quick here, but these were just too good to not share. I can't wait till you get back. It is not fun when you are not here with us. Also, a lot of people are sad. P.S. Happy birthday. So this is our little box of sunshine, and that pillow came in it, and we used it all the time. This one is You're the Light of Our Class. And I think that was, maybe I didn't realize what a funny person Bromley was until I started getting these cards. Okay, Mrs. Gaiman, I don't know if she had a card making class, but these 4th graders can make a card like none other. Okay, can I read you some? Are you tired of listening to me? If you are, you can walk out at any point and I won't feel bad, okay? All right, this one says, I hope you get better soon. I am missing you. It's going to be okay. I am sad about what happened. I hope your surgery went fine. The Cowboys are rooting for you. I hope you come back soon. We all miss you. The doctors will take good care of you. You're my best friend, and you are a good rep. You picked good teams at recess. Can you stay strong for me? I will see you when you get out of the hospital. I hope you get better soon, quick. I am sad that you are missing school and games. We are all looking forward to you coming back to school and feeling better. Actually, that sounds like my mind thinking. Did you notice that? We jumped from one thing to another, but I thought that was sweet. This one's really sweet. Hope you are doing great. Everybody is praying for you. We miss you and hope you are back soon. It was probably very painful, but we know you can do it. When something is wrong or I feel sad, my mom always says, do your best and God will do the rest. It's hard to remember, but it's true, even when you're in a lot of pain. These are really simple cards, but you can tell the effort that they put into them. They can really make a mom cry and a boy be embarrassed. I hope you get well soon. I hope your burns will go away. I really hope that you will get better so you can come back and hang with your friends. I'm sure they miss you. I'm also sorry for you when you got burned. We all miss you and want you to come back. Everyone feels bad that you got burned. You were fun, kind, cool, and sweet. That is what makes you the friendliest person I know. I feel bad. What was amazing to me is they really felt his hurt. And I suppose everybody's gotten burned before. I hope you are okay. I'm sorry about your accident. You're a good friend. You're fun, joyful, and nice. That makes you a great kid. You have lots of friends and family praying for you. Also, I hope you get better soon. I miss being able to get on the bus and laugh about jokes you make. You're a good person. Let God help you through your pain. Soon you'll be back up and praying. We'll be waiting for you. And then they put, I hit the jackpot by being your friend, and there was a rainbow and a pot of gold. These are just really cool. Hold on, I'll skip a few. But I don't know what it wants to skip. Oh, yellow seemed to be a theme without us trying to have a theme. Like the blanket I got at the gift shop for him. This, and like everything that came was yellow. Here's some more yellow with sunshine. I hope you feel better soon. We all miss having you around. Stay positive. The 3 weeks go by quickly. Then you'll be back to seeing your loving friends and family. We're all here for you, Bromley. When you get back, you will begin your adventures again with family and friends. It's all going to be much brighter when you come back. You're our sunshine. Hang in there. Anyway, these just go on and on like this. I'll quit because I don't want you to get bored. But the drawing, the time that they took, like this wasn't a quick, fast, hurry up and do project. So I just thought all these things were awesome. Let's see if I missed one that was really cool here. So then my sister's kids go to school in Gregory, and so then Raylyn, her class made cards for him, and Bentley's class made cards for him. Well, I learned something. Do you know what unicorns do? I didn't know what unicorns did. Like after getting 3 cards that would say, I actually thought that was a cute owl. I hope that 30 unicorns come into your bedroom and hug you. P.S. Hope you get better and happy birthday. Well then there was another one. It's like, he hoped that 100 unicorns came in. What are unicorns? Anyway, Kathy Shippey says, if a unicorn gives you a hug, it heals you maybe? I don't know, can't remember. You guys can come in. Okay, here's another one. This was the one I took a picture of, and these are people who don't even know him. These are kids up in Pier. And they wrote him this little letter, and then one kid put, I hate that you got burned up a little bit. I thought that was funny. All right. I'll just skip these. Sadie, what's next? Oh, there's Cowboys Live. We love watching Cowboys Live. January 10th. This was the Integra. So that was the unveiling of the Integra because that was put on January 3rd. Go to the next one. So that's really gross looking, and when you see it in person, it's even grosser. But what's really cool, so it was almost like a thin layer of plastic, and then it covered up what the Integra was. But that had to be in place for 10 days, and I don't know if you can see from here, but there's like staples that hold that on. And so those staples that were in his fingers, that's what would get stuck on the gauze when they would have to do a takedown of his hand. And that was the part that was absolutely painful, terrible. Go to the next one, Sadie. That's the Integra on the leg. And this sounds even strange. Does anybody get the roasts that have that net wrapping around them? This reminds me of a roast wrapped. You know, and I just have a very strange mind sometimes. Go to the next one. That's just both of his legs. And then Kevin and Marty surprised us and came on January 10th. And poor Ray, you know, Clayton and Seth were down there I saw them, and Raylan was the one, she was the runner, she was the one who said Bromley was hurt, and she kind of got forgotten about in the whole accident, because she just kind of like Clayton and Seth were there, but she was there the whole time, she was so vital in it. Anyway, and the kids really had a hard time with everything, and anyway, so Raylan finally got to come and see Bromley and know that he was okay and that he was going to be okay. And I think that just knowing, and she wasn't able to come up to the hospital that night before we flew out, and Seth and Clayton had. So then Kevin's grandma had given Bromley this puppy. So this was our new mister at the hospital, and he is nearly in every picture, if you notice that. And he was just a super friend, and he was warm, and if you put him up by the head, then he stayed even warmer. This is just a picture of the pills. At one point he was taking 28 pills a day. I think we're down to 25 right now. So he takes Tylenol, and Tylenol is their main choice for pain. So 2 Tylenol, he takes oxycodone, which is another pain. 2 of them are gabapentin, which is a nerve, helps with nerves here and here, if I remember right. Blood pressure, 1, blood pressure runs in our family. There's blood pressure, 2 are steroids for skin growth. 1 makes your belly feel better. Anyway, so that's just kind of a little bit of what the pills that he's taken. So we've kind of reduced them a little bit, and we're just taking them 3 times a day, and he doesn't like taking them, he has a hard time taking them. And thank goodness for Aunt Janice's applesauce, because he'll eat your applesauce, but he won't eat my applesauce. So I'm so glad I have jars of applesauce in my pantry. Anyway, we tried doing a little bit of homework, so this is, it was just difficult to get a table scooted up there right, so you could do homework, but we did try for a little bit. And then, I'm just reading what I wrote. Oh, that first week, I never left that 5th floor because I was so scared to leave that floor that for fear I wouldn't find my way back. And I was the only thing that Bromley had there. And should I leave when he's sleeping? Just in case he would wake up and I not be there and he wonder where I'm at? Should I leave when he's awake? So I just wouldn't leave. And the one day I chose to leave and hurry up and take a shower, because you can only shower from 5 p.m. to 8 in the morning. And I'm like, can you sit with him while I go take a shower? Yeah, I'll sit with him. Well, there was somebody in the shower, and they thought they should have a luxurious shower for 25 minutes, and I got so angry, and I'm like, there should be a 10-minute time limit on showers. Well, so as I'm coming back into the bird ward, she's walking away, and I'm like, she's like, are you mom to number 3? Yeah, I am. Oh, well, he's doing fine, I just have to run some errands. I thought you were gonna sit with him, so I was just a little bit irritated. Anyway, so after that week, so when Justin had brought the kids, that was the first time I actually went exploring. So I went down to the gift shop with Sadie and the kids, and we went to the deli, just so I kind of got my bearings of where things were at and how long it would take me. And if I could find my way back, mostly, like, Mom, you have to go this way. Okay, so anyway, I needed some guidance. This was January 12th, and we made it down to the 4th floor to the Skyway. And it was so much fun to watch the cars go by. That sounds really stupid. You hear older people say, oh, I just like watching people. Oh, I just like watching cars. We just enjoyed watching the cars go by. We're like, wow, look at that. Bromley, look, the sun's hitting the building. Oh, that looks so cool. And like, we really had a simple life. And you mentally have to prepare yourself that way, I think, so that you can, you're just living hour by hour. Nothing else really mattered. I knew that Justin was taking care of everything at home. And what was really amazing is FaceTime. Never really used FaceTime up until that point. FaceTime was amazing. There are so many people along the way that helped. I mean, it might have been they brought food. They had so much food in their house. Our kids, and they were all so well fed. They were very well fed. We had wood that showed up. Justin said there was about a week that, somebody was always stopping by and wanted to help. And, if you know us, we don't like to really ask for help very much. And so it's really hard to ask for help. What's she doing back there? Anyway, I guess I don't know what I was trying to say. So when we were, FaceTime. So Justin had the very first smartphone that we had in our house. it just didn't work. It was so old, it just didn't work all the time. So I couldn't FaceTime him. So the only time I could try to FaceTime him is when the big kids got home. Well, if there was a game or if there was a school activity, I couldn't FaceTime him, and we wanted to FaceTime. And I called down to M&J, and I said, John, what do I need to do? I need a different phone for Justin. So Bromley had an accident, we're in St. Paul, Minnesota, and John hadn't heard about it. And the kindness that he gave to us that day was amazing. And he went out of his way to get a phone ready for Justin so that he could have it on that Thursday night when he went through town. And he worked his tail off to get everything working. And so everybody had like FaceTime really isn't that important, is it? Oh, but it is when you're like 8 hours away. It was like that was the only way we could see each other. And I remember there was one night, and Sadie was laying on the floor, and her beautiful curls were this way, and she was just laying there, just looking at me. I'm just looking at her. We just needed to look at each other. It was so nice. So like, technology is amazing, and FaceTime was amazing. And so then, when Justin got this new phone, like, we could FaceTime him during the day, and we didn't have to wait for the big kids. And it was good for Bromley to see his dad and hear his dad's voice. And all those little things are all the things that made everything so important. Anyway, and where are we at now, Sadie? Friday the 13th. This was really bad. Bromley was, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if he's listening. He was never scared. He never cried. He never said, what are they going to do next, Mom? He never questioned a single thing. And I remember, I knew that morning was going to be really hard. And I really wanted Justin to come the night before, but Sadie had a game, and he stayed for that. And he and Brett got up early, and Bromley's surgery was at 9:30 that morning, and I thought, okay, that'll be fine. They said 3 hours for surgery, he'll get out at 12:30, hopefully Justin's here sometime. That's really not smart for the mother to be alone, and I got so lost that day. I took a picture of the elevator that I was in, so that I could try to find that same elevator label, and I couldn't find it. And I went somewhere to get something, and I walked out, and I'm like, there must be a certain look that you have on your face, because this nice guy shows up, nice black guy shows up. Oh, there's all kinds, Bromley and I met so many unique people. You know, we're all mostly white, right? Well, we met every ethnic group there, and it was really enlightening for both of us. And he's like, yeah, I'll show you where you need to go. And he just led me the whole way. And he just led me, and I think I looked a mess. I think I did. I looked like a bum, I think. Anyway, I knew that it was going to hurt, and I knew it was going to be painful, but I didn't know how bad it was going to be. And Justin and Brett's timing was like impeccable. Like, they got there at 12:30. Well, the thing just had vibrated that said he's out of surgery, and I went, Justin, you gotta get here now. He's like, well, remember I said there's 4 different entrances and there's one central elevator? Well, we had to find the south elevator. Anyway, we found each other. And then so he and I were both, and Brett had come along on this trip. And so they had taken us and sat us in a room to wait for the doctor to come and talk to us. Well, the doctor wasn't coming, and finally a nurse came and got me, and she said, do you want to come with me? He's asking for you. And when I got back there, oh, it was awful. And I could tell he was just hurting, and he said, Mama, why does it hurt so badly? And he just kept saying it over and over and over again, and there was nothing I could do to make it better. And there were no drugs that were working to make it better. And I said, Bromley, I'm so sorry. It's like, why is it gonna hurt so bad, Mom? I don't know. I couldn't touch him anywhere. There was nowhere I could touch him that would make anything better. And finally, Justin showed up. The doctor never showed up because he got called into another surgery, and we couldn't do anything to make anything better. And I just remember the only thing that I could do, if I I leaned over his head, like this, and I smothered his head, then he was okay. But after about an hour, like my muscles were like, it's okay, it'll be fine. Anyway, so we got back up to the 5th floor. And they said they'd given him all the medicine he could have, right? Yeah. They said he's had everything he can have. Well, guess who walks in the door probably, half an hour after we've been in the room? Dr. Kapari. And I said, well, he is in a lot of pain. Is there anything else we can give him? And she says, there's a whole box of stuff we can give him. There's no medicine that we can't use. So she ordered it, we gave him morphine, and boom, he was good. The relief that is felt when he wasn't in pain, but he just kept waiting for it to come back. Like, how long was it going to take before it would come back? And then he ended up sleeping most of that time, didn't he? I thought so. Anyway, so then, aside from January 3rd, January 13th was another terribly low point that we went through. And then this was the next day after that surgery, and you could see the hand. And actually, when you see the skin there, it almost looks like it matched his real skin. Because like when you saw it tonight, it looks really red and just patchy looking. Like every day it seems to have changed color. So it's really interesting the process that skin must go through to get healthy. Go to the next one, Sadie. January 17th, we tried another outing. There were people, well, I didn't realize, like I said, I didn't realize where we were, and I didn't realize what family members lived where they lived. Anyway, I have an aunt and uncle, Tom and Sissy Horseman, and they actually met me at the hospital the night that we were flown in. And to see a familiar face was overwhelming. Like, oh, people I know. They had driven 45 minutes to come and see me that night. And then I had given them a list of things for them to pick up for me the next day, because remember, we left really quickly. And Sadie and Lexi and Cheyenne packed pretty well for me. They did a good job, but I just needed a few other things. Anyway, like 4 days after being there, I was laying in bed and I was really tired. Remember, I was tired from New Year's Eve, so now I'm really tired. And the door opens up and there's this guy there, and the nurse says, you have a visitor. And I look at him and I'm like, hi. I didn't know who he was. He said, I'm Uncle Bill. Oh my goodness, I hadn't seen Uncle Bill in over 10 years. And what a godsend he was for me. He sat with Bromley and I 4 different times, and it was amazing. And just catching up after 10 years of not seeing him, and we never really had a lot of acquaintances anyway with him. And so I can't remember if Uncle Bill was with us on this trip to the Skyway. He might have been, I can't remember, but it was so nice because he would just sit with Bromley. And Bill had polio as a child at 6 months old, and so he did a lot of doctoring as a child, and it was eye-opening for him. Anyway, we all had such a, there's reasons things happen, and that was one of the reasons it happened. I think that Uncle Bill was so special to me, and I'm so glad that he found us at the hospital. I would have never known. So we tried to go to the Skyway at night, and there was this really cool marble thing there. That's what we were looking at. And then we went to the Skyway at night, and we thought there was going to be all kinds of cars and traffic and lights that we could watch. And there were none. It was so boring. We decided to go back to the room and watch a movie. All right, go to the next one, Sadie. Okay, so this was the 3rd round of surgery, Thursday, January 19th. The day before this, they were going to do a takedown, a complete takedown. And when they tried to do it, everything was sticking so much that it was so painful and he couldn't handle it, and Dr. Moore had come in. Oh, so before that, I said how wonderful Dr. Kapari was. So a few nights before that, it was icy, and she slipped on the ice and broke her arm. And so we're so thankful we had Dr. Kapari for 2 of those procedures. Not that Dr. Moore isn't wonderful, but we just felt that Dr. Kapari was sent for us. Anyway, so when Dr. Moore came in, he said, this isn't going to work. We'll just take him to surgery, put him out, and just take care of everything in surgery. So we did, and I knew that this surgery wasn't going to be bad. When he come out of the procedure, I knew he wasn't going to be in a lot of pain. In fact, they never even called me to go back to the recovery room, and they had me go straight up to the hospital room and wait for him. And once again, I got in the room and probably wasn't there, and I thought he was going to be there, and I'm waiting. Guess who knocks on the door? Uncle Bill. Oh, thank goodness. Gave him a huge hug and said, I'm so glad you're here. Anyway, next. So that on that Thursday, I talked to Dr. Moore, and he says, well, I think you guys can go home tomorrow. Are you sure? We're fine staying. Like, I'd been prepared to stay another week. I'd have stayed another week and been completely happy because we were both happy to stay there. Anyway, he said, no, I think you can probably go home tomorrow. I said, oh goodness, okay. Anyway, so that was our little room that we slept in, and that was our place that we called home for 20 days. Well, the interesting part of this story, so this is Graham and Nell. This is kind of funny trying to exit the hospital. We couldn't find the right exit to get out of, and Uncle Bill is pushing the cart with all this stuff on it, and Grandma's by Bromley in the chair. And before Christmas, I decided that we needed a van. We needed something different. Bromley's getting too big. He weighs 100 pounds. My body just can't do it anymore. And I said, Justin, we're gonna get a van. We're just gonna do it. Anyway, with Christmas and everything, we had all the arrangements made previous to Christmas that we were gonna go pick this van up on January 4th in Sioux Falls, that they were gonna drive me just in Sioux Falls with this van. Well, guess what? I had to call them and say, hey, we're not gonna meet you. I think that we're really close to you. Here's the funny thing. The van was located in Burnsville. Anyway, Sadie thinks this is the biggest, ugliest van, and we have therefore named it the Bub. And I love my Bub, and it makes life really, really easy. Just another godsend. Like, why? Obviously God knew this was going to happen. So we've been going to do this van. Well, so then Justin didn't have to come and get us, so I just had him deliver the van to the hospital. And so my mother-in-law had come over. She'd gotten a ride with Aunt Beverly over there, and we made our way home. And it was quite, go back to the other one, Sadie, go backwards. This was a very painful process, right, Janelle? Yes. Trying to get him in this van did not go very well. Everything hurts. Normally, everything we would do, we would take 2 people to move him. Well, you couldn't have 2 people move him, which we were going to put him in the front seat, and his legs were too long, and so we're like, well, let's try this in the middle seat. It was very painful, it was very awkward, and he was just white by the time we had gotten him settled in there. Also, keep in mind, he had a catheter in for 19 days, and so they'd taken the catheter out the day before. Now he has a bladder that's really confused and doesn't know when to work or how to work, and we're worried about it working the whole time. Anyway, his bladder's figuring out how to work after a week or so at home, and that's been good. And the trip home was okay, and then he was about as nervous to get out of the van because we got comfortable in there, and he was nervous about trying to get into the house. And so Bromley thinks ahead all the time. He's always thinking ahead, wondering what, wondering who, and he just didn't know how he was going to make it in the house. Anyway, we got him in the house, and it was okay. This is a little picture of the exit site. Go to the next one, Sadie. I'll try to hurry. It's getting really late. Mr. is amazing. So Mr., we'd gotten him last February as a little puppy, and I went through all the puppy process with him, and it was so amazing. The first night we got home, he went and found Bromley, and he just laid on him. Just laid there. He laid there for over 2 hours and never got up. How did he know? I don't know. And Mr. can get away with more than I can. If I touch Mr's, or if I touch Bromley's legs as much as Mr. does, I'd get squealed at, but Mr. can get away with it, which is good because it teaches Bromley that it's not going to hurt as bad as you think. It's slowly getting better every day, but he anticipates the hurt to be as bad as it was. Anyway, Mr's amazing. This was the first day in his power chair. It's kind of painful, very awkward. So this was another gift that came in the mail, and so this is perfect. This is really good for his hand. Like, his hand sits so nice on this little horse. Anyway, so that's our little horse. Oh, you notice my denim quilts? This is what I did in my spare time at the hospital because you can't just watch movies all the time. Anyway, so I got one quilt put together, and I thought, wonder who I'm going to give that to. That's an easy question. Who would you give it to? Dr. Kapari. Anyway, so I'm going to send it to Dr. Kapari when I get it all done. And I thought, there was another amazing person that did a lot for me, and I thought, you know, she needs something too. As for my daughter, because she was amazing, I made her go do 2 picture jobs for me. So her dad and her go down to Gregory to do middle school boys basketball pictures, and then Wiley and Sadie end up doing the little cheer pictures. And so the stuff that I made Sadie do and that she was willing to do, I figured she is a pretty amazing person and that she needs the other quilt. And then Aunt Janice and Janelle cut all the squares for me, and so anyway, that was my project. Anyway, so thank goodness for everybody helping out in all those little places. January 21st, what's today? The 30th? 29th? 7 days ago? 8 days ago? So, you know, that's where you can start seeing the redness in the hand. But it's good. Go to the next one. So then, we thought that we didn't want to have to go all the way over to St. Paul to have the dressings changed. And we thought, well, we'll go to Sioux Falls. Seemed to make sense to me. I thought, well, let's go where they should be more familiar with this. And they can do telemedicine from Sioux Falls to St. Paul. Well, they couldn't do telemedicine from Sioux Falls to St. Paul, but they could do it from Winter, South Dakota to St. Paul. Well, I'll be. So don't underestimate your local hospitals and what they can do for you. And when we went up there, Linda and Carrie were absolutely amazing. Told them they sure could work in the burn unit, it looked like, because they seemed to know what they were doing. Anyway, so that's what his hand looked like on Friday. Yeah, similar. What's really funny, okay, so that's this leg right here. So you can see the rows, kind of like farming. You know, they missed cultivating some area. Anyway, those are the strips. That's that 1-inch strip that they took off of there. So that, on that leg, it goes from here, around, and like here. So, and then on this leg, it's actually more, because it goes like all the way up here. And he says, why did they go all the way up there? Because his belly sticks to it. It would have been better if it had come down a little bit lower. So we have to make sure his belly doesn't stick in here. Anyway, and then this leg is a bigger chunk of it. It kind of covers all the way, and it goes back and around and up. Well, so that's what his legs look like as of Friday. That's still what they look like. They're very raw and they're very sore. The grafted area, this actually feels good. This does not bother a whole lot to touch. This feels really bad. They said 2.5 weeks it would feel better. Well, we're almost at 2.5 weeks, and it does feel better than it did than when we first did it. But that's how raw everything is. This poor boy, he's gotten so used to being half naked. It's kind of funny. The first night up at the ER in winter, Clayton had made it up there, and Bromley still had a sense of humor at that point. And he said, you know what, Clayton? You know what feels weird? I don't have any underwear on. Now he's gotten so used to not wearing any underwear, it'll feel weird to put underwear on. Anyway, I guess I just want to thank you all. I think I've said more than enough. Let me check my notes. You know what's really funny is we were starting to get mail from people we didn't even know, and they would even say, you don't know me. Like, I got this one's unique. It reminds me of the olden days. See the wax seal on it? That was really cool. I still can't, I don't know who this person is. I can't read his name. I can't read the address to send him anything back. But it's on there. I just can't read it. Anyway, very interesting. I gotta tell you about some, I got a few more things. So, here's what's interesting. Okay, Bromley is a unique name, right? Okay, I don't know of any other Bromley except for one other person of whom I thought he should be named after. Long time ago, I went to a photography seminar, and this very famous photographer had his son in charge of printing all this stuff. He's an 18-year-old boy in charge of printing all this stuff, and his name was Bromley. And he made Bromley sound so cool. I'm like, I like that name. Anyway, shorter story, but really long story. I talked Justin into naming him. He said, fine, put it on this paper so you can get out of the hospital. So I did, and anyway, so he became Bromley. Okay, so if you say Bromley, most people know what Bromley you're talking about. If you would say Justin, they would say, well, what Justin? Well, when Brett and Justin had come over, Brett's eating in the in the hotel. Of course, Brett's always so friendly anyway. And he thinks he recognizes some people. And he's like, do I know you guys? And I said, yeah. They said, well, did you come over to this big farm expo thing? He said, no, I came to see my nephew. Well, they said, well, Bromley? Well, yeah, how do you know him? Well, my wife knows so-and-so, and we've all been praying for Bromley. They don't know who he was, but they've been praying for him. So then, one of the first nurses that we had on those first few days, she'd come in the room and she's like, well, I know where Colome, South Dakota is. You do? Every time I'd say Colome, is just like, it just well said Egypt, because they didn't have a clue. And she said, yeah, I grew up out in Todd County Mission area. Oh, you did? Why are you here? Of course, I'm thinking there's way too many people over there for me. She said, there's no jobs. Like, well, I guess if you're that specialized, you probably should be in a special place. Anyway, the day that we went to check out, she happened to be at the nurse's desk, and she's like, oh, you're going home. I said, we are. She's like, you're not going to believe this, but she said, you said it was okay if I told my parents that, you were here. I said, yeah. She said, well, my parents were in McDonald's in winter, and they had walked by a table of ladies that had been having some coffee and praying and whatnot, and he heard Bromley's name. And he says, my daughters helped take care of him. What are the chances of that? Okay? So then, this same nurse, and it's really sad because I don't remember her name, but I remember what she looks like. So then one of her friends must have been following us on Facebook. And she's like, oh, that's Bromley's mom. She's like, I promise I wasn't stalking you. And she said, I knew that was you. And then she says one more thing. She's like, you know that panic button guy? Oh, wow, now you're really talking my language. You really know where we're all from. She's like, are all three of those Heath girls yours? I didn't think you had three of them. I said, no, I said only one of them's mine. The other two were some nieces. But I'm like, wow, like she really had she was starting to love us too. And then Brett, we get to Brett. I don't know what he did with his silk scarf yet. Anyway, the ladies, the nurses, you know how everybody wears the silk scarves around here? Well, they don't have a clue what a silk scarf is over there, and I'm thinking, you guys need to find out, because it's really cold over here. So anyway, I think that we'll send a silk scarf over to Denise. She was quite hilarious. Anyway, let me see whatever my notes, if I'm hit everything. I think I have hit everything, but I just can't tell you how much all of your Facebook messages, or your cards, or your food, or your help with my family have meant to all of us. There's not a word that can say how grateful we are and how amazed I am at how much you love Bromley. And there's only one Bromley. And I think he's absolutely amazing. And he teaches us stuff all the time of any person who should be sad. He's not. Do you know what he said? Mom, I would have been okay if I had just burnt my legs. Okay? He's like, I just really wish I wouldn't have burned my hand as he's looking at it. My legs are okay to get burned. He has a peace within him that I will never understand. He has a faith within him that I'll never understand. I'll understand. But how he has the spirit he has is beyond me. And I think it's because what everybody else gives him. It's not just what we do for him and with him. It's what everybody gives him. He's nervous to come to school, and I'm going to make him come to school tomorrow. But I'm like, Bromley, everybody wants to see you. They're so excited to see you. And he'll get really shy on me. And I said, Bromley, you're like the president. Everybody just wants to know you. Anyway, so I'm just hoping that tomorrow is a good day. And I know that his friends are so excited to have him back again. But what you have done for us in this whole process, and it doesn't matter who you are, if you're Joseph or if you're an old person, it doesn't matter. Every one of you are important to him, and we're blessed because of him. He has taught us about life more than anybody ever could, I think. And so we just appreciate you beyond words. Thank you. Can you hear me? If there's more cookies, take cookies with you on the way out if you want to. And you're more than welcome to ask me any questions you want to if I didn't tell the whole story, if I missed a gap. You know, my poor husband. You know, opposites are always attracted to each other, right? Somebody's got to talk and somebody's got to be quiet. Thank you.
Where to